Anytime, Jason, we can roll with this beautiful filly here that you're doing such a great job with. Jason Irwin from Port Elgin, Ontario. Oh, before you start, Jason, I got to mention that Laurie Duff, our judge here, is having a birthday today.
Oh, okay.
And you remember what we did for your birthday?
Yes, I do.
Here a couple of years ago.
It wasn't embarrassing at all.
No, so do you want to start?
No.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You're off tune. Happy birthday, dear Laurie. Happy birthday to you. Hey, not bad at all for...
Why did you put me on the mic for that part to sing?
That was pretty good. Okay, you can start anytime now.
All right, here. So I just let's see if I can grab this girl.
Hi, Hugh.
Hi.
I have another favor to ask. Sure. Can you just let people know that they are more than welcome to come out after the sessions behind and see the horses close up?
Yeah.
And then, just keep reminding them to come see us.
Yeah.
I'll just get the halter on here, and then we'll kind of get down to business. I tied this in a knot.
These fillies will be sold this afternoon after the finals, and after each session or any time, you're more than welcome to go out to the box stalls right out this big white door and have a good close look at them. And all you have to do is go to the Rockin' Heart Ranch booth and register with Melody, and you'll get your bidding card and be ready to go.
So anyways, good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. And we're just going to truck along here. Now, I don't know how many of you folks saw our first training sessions from the first 2 days, I guess. But this one is probably going to be slightly different in that I'm not really going to go through here and try to do a whole bunch of training. And the reason for that is, even though it's called the Trainer Showdown, we have the finale part later this afternoon. And basically, I want to save my horse for it. I found she is a filly that really doesn't want to go forward all that well. Like, she definitely does do it, but that is her sticky point. She just likes to, she'll step up into the trot, doesn't really care to canter, things like that. So I'm not going to make a point of trying to run her around a whole lot today just because I feel like she only has so much forward in her, and I would rather use that later on than I would use it up this morning. So a lot of this morning's session is just going to be very slow stuff, just because I kind of want to save her. Now, if you see me later on this afternoon and she's throwing me in the dirt, I'll be saying, should have run her around a bit more. So this is always just sort of an somewhat educated guess. And that could be right and it could be wrong. But I'm just going to have her move around me a little bit, kind of test some of the things I've done. Their hindquarters moving over pretty nice there. I'm just going to now just see if I can get her to move her whole body over, maybe make a little bit of a side pass. Good. That was a little bit more forward, but that was still good enough for me. I'm going to cross these obstacles several times just because I want it sort of like its old hat. I don't want to have to get in the finals and then reteach her each obstacle. I'm just going to see if I can get her to side pass here a few steps. That was a little bit smoother. Very happy with that. I'm going to see if I can move her hips around. Very happy with that. I am going to put her tack on here pretty soon. But I'm just going to keep kind of running through my, again, just little reviews. And although she's getting accepting of things, you can see she's still aware. She's still paying attention. She's not like she just got so quiet that I can just do whatever in a pretty haphazard manner. I still have to be kind of careful in my approach. Not that I'm worried she's going to do anything mean or anything like that, but just that she still notices things. She still needs some time to learn the stuff is all okay. A little bit of that stuff. Sometimes she likes to shuffle around a little bit when I put the saddle on. So a little bit of this stuff I can do this with the tarp very easily because it's pretty light. I don't have to worry if she walks off while I'm playing around with that. I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm not going to be here all session, sacking out, but I want to do a bit. I'm going to maybe start stopping her when she wants to push through it, because I want to start getting her where she'll tolerate it without needing to move. There, she kind of stopped and licked her lips. I'm just going to stop because that's kind of a good point. But I want her to stand now while I'm doing this. Before, I didn't mind if she moved around. But I think now we're kind of getting to the point that she can learn to take a little bit more responsibility. It might not be her favorite thing ever, but she can tolerate it. I'll just kind of shuffle. If she really wants to move, I could let her, but for the most part, I would like to start having her stand still as I mess with this stuff. Sometimes when I change sides, she moves around a little bit more. Now, I'd like her to stand like a statue, so I'm intentionally going to do just enough that she kind of wants to move. But then I kind of want to have it where she then stands to tolerate it. So I'm going to stop because she stopped. Just going to do it again here. Again, I'm going to stop her when she tries to walk off. Just going to let her carry that for a second. Just going to wave the tarp lightly as she kind of moves around me. I'm going to stop and pet her a lot. Again, everything you're going to see this morning is probably going to look like it's in slow motion. I'm just trying to save my horse, partly because I need the energy, but partly because her mind, I feel like, is sort of at a point where she's doing really, really well, but I also feel like I could overwhelm her. Yesterday, I was happy with all the first 3 sessions. The last session, I could feel her maybe just getting a little bit burned out. So I'm just going to take on this session and have her just as calm and cool as I could get her. So I'm just going to have her come to me. Again, if you were here the other day, this is sort of my Liberty program, how I get started with it. When I want her to come to me, I really open up. When I want her to stop, I just sort of stop myself, lift the whip up in the air, and that's her cue to come to a standstill. So I'm going to go along here. I'm going to see if I can go a little bit faster. I'll just motion behind her a little bit. Ooh. Licking her lips there. I'm very happy with that part. Scratch her. Have her come to me again. Come on, honey. There you go. In my Liberty program, I start off by backing up a lot to draw the horse into me. When you take a clinic, Liberty clinic with me, if you ever do that, I'm going to kind of warn you, you do have to huff and puff a little bit because you usually got to run around backwards a while. I've noticed in our Liberty clinics, people will show up and they'll be like, Liberty is beautiful, amazing, inspiring, I want to learn it. And they're like, there's work involved, this sucks. And so you'll kind of find with the Liberty programs, it's like reining, cutting, jumping, anything else. There's sort of a technique to it. You got to get all the steps down. And I know it's the odd time I'll say, here's a bunch of steps. And they're like, I've watched the Black Stallion twice. I've got this. I'm going to flick up behind her just a little bit. Okay. Just going to turn it around, go the other direction. See if I can get her to come up behind me. Let's reach out and touch her real light. Now I'm just going to start switching gears. I'm going to let this lead rope out a little bit longer just to sort of test if she's with me or if I'm pulling on her. Excellent. Again, I just really rub on her for that. Very happy with that part. With her feet, she's pretty good about the front, and she likes to shuffle around with the back. So I'm just going to pick up the front a couple times. And with the back, she's not bad in that she kicks out or anything. She just kind of walks around me. So what I'm going to mess with here for just a second, I'm going to find the least populated part of the building, or the ring, I should say. I'm going to run this around but not tie it off. And I'm just going to do this a few times. Again, if she goes to walk, I can just kind of hold her there. Now, she started kind of yanking the foot a little bit. I held on till she paused for just a second, and then I released as she kind of softened. Happy with that? I'll just back this up as I kind of slip under the rope here. I don't remember if one side was any worse than the other. I think they were kind of equal, not that either was bad, just that she liked to shuffle. And I'll put it down before she starts trying to take it away from me. And then I'm going to set it down again. And what I'm going to do is come back to that maybe a little bit later, but I feel like those were all wins, so I don't want to do any more than that, because if I can end on a good note, I can always come back and do it again next time. Again, I mentioned earlier with my training, I tend not to stay on anything very long. I kind of get a little bit of good going on, then I do something else. Pads, same deal. I'm going to throw it on and off. I want her to stand still this time. I don't want her walking off. If she goes to walk off, I will stop her and back her up. Happy with that? Now, she is walking there, but that's towards me, so I'm not going to blame her for that. Sometimes she shuffles with the saddle. So I'm going to ask her to stay still as I'm playing with this. Now, I added a breast collar to it and managed to tie it in all kinds of knots. I thought I had that neatened out, but apparently I didn't. Now again, she does tend to take and move around a little bit when I start to do the cinch up. I'm going to shuffle the saddle, make sure she wants to stand. Reach under her belly, pick up. Now here, I do want her to start standing a little bit more. I'm not going to do this up fully. I'm just going to do it enough, that I feel she can tolerate it, and it will hold the saddle there. Stop and rub on her again. Now I'm just going to have this mare sort of move. I don't want to get directly in front of her. Oh, messed up that one. Just going to do the breast collar up as well. I don't really feel she needs a breast collar, but it's just one more thing to get her used to. Truck along here. This on. And this mare, she's a really nice horse. I really do like her. She is not one that I think you want to argue with a whole lot, though. So I think if you just went in guns a-blazing and said, you're going to do this, she's going to show you pretty quick that you will not. And that, so I think with her, it's very important that when you're training on her, so whoever does more of the work with her, I think it's very important you sort of try to read her a bit and try to work with her a lot. I think she's a horse that you work with, and you'll have a lot of neat things happen. I think she's a horse that if you try to push around and boss, I'm not so sure you're going to do as well in the very early stages anyways. But she's a super sweet horse. Really like her. I'm just going to let her stop there for a second. We've crossed the tarp a decent number of times, but I kind of like the idea that she's resting on the tarp. I want the tarp to be a nice thing for her. If anything, I want it to be something that she kind of hunts for. and that. So I'm just gonna, again, you kind of see her licking her lips, pet on her for that one. Gonna bring her on fully. And I'll just scratch on her again. Again, I kind of want her almost hunting for this and letting her know this is a nice rest spot. Send her around. Wow, that was a little crooked. I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna lead her over. Like so. Now, one thing I just touched on very lightly yesterday, and she didn't like it, was having something come up behind her. So what I'm going to do there is take this rope, and all I'm going to do really is rub her over for a second.
We're at 30 minutes now. Jason?
Okay.
15 minutes used up and half an hour to go.
Perfect. I'm just going to kind of rub around on her. I am going to ask her to step out here a little quicker in a minute, but at this moment in time, it's not my main priority. This rope, lead rope is just long enough, it tends to kind of get a little wrapped up. You can kind of see her watching that, even though not a lot's going on yet. Now, she isn't actually dragging anything, but if you kind of watch her ear on this side, she's still taking note that there's something there. Then later on, I could add a little something to the end of it. I'm going to pull the rope so it comes up beside her a little bit more, and then let it slide back. It doesn't have a lot of weight, so it doesn't want to slide back very far. Then I'm just going to kind of pull on the rope again, have it come up beside her. That's good enough. Just going to do it real quick on the other side. Again, it's not, horse isn't really dragging anything. I just want to see the rope running down the side here. Don't want to get its back foot in it though. Going to kind of pull on it a little bit, bring it up like so, and good. I'm going to go over here. After we do something I'm a little bit happy with, I'm going to give her quite a few breaks. I'll just pet for a second. I would like to get those back feet on. Good. I'm just going to kind of rub on her and let her know she did a good job. And again, everything just kind of calm and easy. Very happy with the fact that she's on there fully and relaxed. She's maybe, I wouldn't say she's 100% relaxed about it, but she's close enough that she is taking a break and sort of appreciating it. But I kind of want to sit here and rub on her at the same time. If I wasn't rubbing, she might stay here and she might eventually kind of wander off, but I think the scratching kind of helps my cause here just a little bit. And I'll just step off again. I'm going to kind of make a point. Just rechecking my cinch a lot. This mare does tend to puff up, and then I get on, and the saddle's a little bit loose, so I'm going to be careful with that one. Tighten that back up. I'm just going to mess around here for a minute like this. And then I'm going to make a point of scratching her with the whip. Over here. And again, I'll just scratch with the whip. I think I mentioned it before. I like to start more with the Australian stock whip than I do the lariat, just because I'm not terribly handy with the rope. When I was 5 years old, everybody's like, he's really good for a 5-year-old with roping. I never got better. I stopped at 5. I peaked very, very early. So this kind of stuff here also gets some used to the lariat going around them, but I just find I have less chance of getting myself or my horse in trouble. Happy with that? Just gonna check her cinch here. Do it one more. I'm just gonna let her go for a minute.
Boy, I just love this connection that's developing with these fillies and these fellas. Hardly missing a step here.
Okay.
With this kind of a start, these fillies will be in a mindset to really bond with the right owner, the right rider, the right person through the rest of their life, which is something a lot of riders can't find with their horse.
Maybe did too good at the Liberty part.
Yeah.
Should have done a little more running.
Yeah.
Come on, honey. I actually feel bad about the part where I want her to run.
Well, so often you wind up with a lot of drive and not much draw.
Jog the poles, jog the poles.
Here, I'll help you, Jason. Look at that.
Let's see if we move over enough that she'll just do them.
Oh, wow. You just see the expression in her eyes. Trusting and yet curious.
That was actually what I wanted to do all along. I just kind of tricked you by thinking I want to run around. It wasn't actually true.
Do you have videos on Liberty or books, Jason?
Yeah, we got one there. It's actually going to be part of a 3-part series, but now I got to run all the way around again. I'll try to get in a little closer. Good. How tricky can we be?
Oh, wow.
No, don't turn to follow me for this one.
Look at that. Turn on the forehand on the bridge. Oh, my. Oh, McBride, you're putting on a show here. Billy, with her whole life ahead of her and getting a foundation and a start like this, just does your heart good.
So again, I'm going to take and kind of have it where the rest breaks are on the scary things. Not that she's that scared anymore, but I don't want her just not scared of it. I want her actually to sort of hunt for it and sort of enjoy being part of this. Make a little switcheroo here. Just going to bring her down so she's a little bit lower for me to put the bridle on. Not that I'm being lazy on Sunday or anything. Well, same as before. I'm just going to do the bridle a little loose, and then I'll tighten it up. Eventually, though, I don't really think I need to do this part anymore. I'm kind of doing it now, I think, out of habit, because I've been doing it all weekend, but she's definitely where I could just do the bridle up properly. Just going to step her forward. Check my cinch one last time. Again, she just kind of keeps leaving out a little bit of air, which is totally fine. If I just keep picking it up gradually, she'll be great. I think if I just yanked the cinch in the very beginning, though, I think what would have happened is I could have made her a little bit cinchy. Not bad, but I think maybe possibly just a little bit. I'd like her to stand still till I tell her to leave. And today I'm not going to worry a whole lot about steering. We're going to steer a little bit. First, we're going to work on stopping. Is everybody impressed?
Nice.
So I'm just going to mosey around here for a minute. Again, this isn't going to be so much training as it just kind of relaxing with her. Let her stand there for a minute. Stop on it fully for a second. And then it's going to truck off again. Now she kind of...
She handled that pretty well.
If you thought this horse is just asleep and tolerating anything, she isn't. Like, I'm stopping on the scary thing. You just told me to do this all weekend long. What's wrong with you? So I'm just going to turn here. I maybe didn't leave quite enough room. I think she'll figure it out. So I'm just going to truck off this way. So again, she's taking it pretty cool. Now, I would like her, I don't really, again, care if we lope a whole lot. I would like to trot around, though, just to make sure she is freed up. I'm going to ask her to slow down. Stop there. See if I can get a backup step or two. There. So I'm happy with that part too. Now, if any of you have been around the last few days, you know her lope is a lot of fun. A lot of elevation, a lot of height, lots of room for a lead change in there when you're 5 feet off the ground. And so I'll get her trotting. If she willingly steps up into a lope, I'm great with it. If she doesn't willingly step up into a lope, again, I'll just kind of save her for the final part, because I am kind of counting a little bit, not that I should be giving my game plan away, but counting a little bit on the big arena, just giving her a little more space and her feeling like she has a little bit more room to move. Then we're going to stop, and like so. Again, just going to scratch on her for a second. Doing a good job. I'm going to try to flex her around each way. I know softness is a big part of this. My little crop out of the way, that messed me up last time. Pick up on her. Soft there. Soft there. I'll do it once more each way. Soft there. Once more back this way, and then I think we're kind of done with this little part for the moment. And soft. Good. Now, I'm just going to ride her out here, turn her around.
"15 minutes now, Jason. 15 minutes to go."
Right. Ooh, I'm not trusting you with a rumpled tarp. And she's getting a little sticky. I'll just pause there for a second. And she's kind of one of those horses that if she feels like we're having a discussion, she gets a say. She kind of does it. If she feels like I'm telling her to, she doesn't do it. And so everything has to be sort of like, I have an idea, what do you think? That's sort of the approach. Which is how my wife treats me. Sometimes I think I have an opinion. I was wrong. Nope. Up forward if we could. Oh. She's like, I can two-step really well on this wood, though. We have this front part down very well. I hope everybody's impressed with the front. It sounds bad that I don't know, but it's 3 on or 4? 4? And a score out of 10? Okay, good. That's better.
I think it says you have to do a 360 without stepping off the bridge too, doesn't it?
Well, there we go. There's 180.
Yeah, you stepped off.
Let's see if I can keep going. No, I don't think so.
She's got that figured out.
Just going to step off here again. I am going to lead her just past these little noodle things because we have to go through a little, whatever you want to call it, noodle monster / car wash, whatever the term is. And I don't know that I really have time to really work on this a lot. I'm basically just going to get her close to it. She touches it a few times, I'm happy. Within 1 inch, I'm happy. Okay, good. I might just take this here. I'll just kind of rub her with it. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth on her body, just so she kind of feels a little bit of that sensation. I don't know if this will make a lot of difference, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something constructive, so I'm going to do it. Good. Happy with that part. I'm just going to mess around for 1 second.
10 minutes to go.
Good. And now I'm just going to walk around on her. So other than forward, this is the only thing I care about. We'll just move out. I don't care about turning or going different ways, other than I don't want her to just pivot around. So I may have lied and turned a little bit. She's like, raspberry is my favorite flavor of noodle. Now, if she's interested in that, I'm going to wait a second because I'm going to need her curiosity to play with the noodles to be able to get through them, because we didn't get a chance to practice them very much. So if she's kind of interested, I'll just kind of leave her alone, because I'm going to kind of have to count on her natural curiosity, I think, to carry me on through. So I'm just going to wait 1 more second. And we'll just kind of putter around. Right when I have no control. I don't care if you're curious. We ain't going there. Damn it. If this goes poorly, it was nice meeting you all.
Wow, she can already trot and poop at the same time.
We are a talented pair. Oh, I hope you're talking about the horse.
I'm talking about yeah, the McBride.
Whoa. Turn the other way if possible. Now I gotta get going before she can kind of. You've got to be kidding me. How much time do I have?
Just about 7 minutes, 6:55.
Okay. How tricky can we be? Not the terp. Would you like to see her cross the tarp? Too bad. Leave them wanting more. That is the secret.
Be careful what you ask for. Remember what happened yesterday.
Yeah, I remember very well.
Kind of a key question. Could you ride or bridle us? Couldn't resist the challenge. Just try not to land on the bridge.
Now, in case we get into the finals and for whatever reason this horse does exactly what I want, she does everything amazing and all that, which I'm not going to say is going to happen, but just in case it does, just so we have her used to noises, if I could get over here, clap at about a medium rate if you would, just see if she breaks her attention from me. Okay? And then just pause if you would, kind of do the same. Okay? And not to be judgmental, but there's not enough of you over there to ask, because I don't think you're really going to do that good a job. And that. They really hog the spotlight, don't they? All right, now just in case it all goes well, everybody whoop it up as loud as you possibly can for 1 second. And that's kind of how I showboat. It'll be like, cheer for the horse. Just gonna do this up here. And that's how much love she has for me. The saddle is more important. All right, over this way. No. She's like, I just love the buck stitching. That is so pretty.
Two and a half minutes now, Jason.
Okay. That's how I cheated. I put the saddle there because I knew she's only going to walk 4 feet. We get it. Oh, you've got to be kidding. I should have rode in a bareback pad. She's 3/4 Hancock bred, 1/4 bloodhound. I taught her to do Western pleasure in 1 ride.
Peanut roller technique.
So really, I might cruise around for just a second, but as far as training, I think it's safe to say I'm sort of done. Oh, geez. And that's where I like to exit.
Whoa. You gotta be reasonably athletic, I think, to do some of this stuff.
I can be extremely athletic at the right times.
Hey, McBride, would you tell Jason he's got a minute left?
Okay. It's like sometimes I'm very athletic, sometimes I'm not. After winter time, Brahman will be like, getting a bit of a hay belly, are we? It's like, thank you. The one winter was maybe a little worse. She's like, don't founder. I don't know if I can get this to happen. Actually, I'm not going to do it by this stupid tarp because I know. Now you see why I kind of hopped off. I think there is one of you two thinking, no big deal.
Boy, she looks to you for security. She was going to jump right into your arms there. 15 seconds left.
Saddle. Trying to be tricky, and I keep going around interesting things that are more interesting than me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 45 minutes done.